After exploring the east side of Highgate Cemetery, it's now time to step into the west side, the older and more atmospheric part of this historic place. The West Cemetery is famous for its ornate tombs, towering mausoleums, and striking Gothic architecture. Let's take a slow walk through the west side and uncover what makes this cemetery so special. Hello everyone, welcome to Cat Couple Chronicles. Right at the entrance, two churches stand on either side, one built for the Anglicans and the other for the dissenters. This is the dissenters' chapel, and as you enter, it stands on the right hand side. Once you step inside the premises, you are greeted by this grand entrance to the cemetery, known as the gatehouse. A flight of steps lead us inside, and our mood is set to explore what's ahead of us. As you can probably notice, this part feels very different from the east side. It's much wilder here, and the tomb designs are far more intricate. I think this will be an interesting walk. At one time, the cemetery had to be guarded day and night by retired soldiers accompanied by dogs. This was done to protect the graves from body snatchers who were known to steal bodies and sell them for medical research. It's hard to imagine now, but this place was once under constant watch. I noticed that these sculpted urns are a popular symbol here. As you can see, they are carved as urns draped with fabric, a design meant to represent grief, loss, and mourning. Another popular design you'll see here are these singular columns that have been deliberately broken, symbolizing a life that was cut short. This is the part we were most excited about to see on the west side. This is the entrance to the Egyptian Avenue. The archway is flanked by tall columns and striking obelisks on both sides, leading into a dark passage. Originally, this avenue had a roof, but it collapsed long ago. Today, the canopy of trees above almost feels like a natural rooftop. On either side of the avenue, there are 8 private vaults, and each one was designed to hold up to 12 coffins. These vaults are sealed with heavy cast iron doors. Interestingly, none of them were ever used to their full capacity, and some still display the living addresses of the people who were buried here. As we walk out of the Egyptian Avenue, we enter what is known as the Circle of Lebanon, often considered the heart of the West Cemetery. This area is designed as a circular trench with the vaults lining both the inside and the outside of the path. It gets its name from the large Lebanon cedar tree that once stood proudly at its center. That majestic tree had been over 100 years old, but due to its age and potential danger of falling over, it had to be removed. Its removal was marked by a special event called the Cedar's Farewell on 5th August 2019. A new Lebanon cedar was planted in its place, continuing the tradition and keeping the spirit of the Circle of Lebanon alive for future visitors. The inner circle of the Circle of Lebanon originally had 20 chambers, but the area became so popular that 16 more chambers were added later to the outer circle. Each of these outer chambers can hold up to 15 coffins. On the heavy cast iron doors, you can see torches pointing downwards, with flames that still appear to burn. These flames are symbolic, representing the idea that while life may be extinguished, the soul continues to live on. Visitors still leave fresh flowers at the vault of the poet and novelist Radcliffe Hall and her partner, Mabel Veronica Batten, paying tribute to their enduring legacy. At the highest point of the cemetery sits the Beer Mausoleum, a striking monument erected by Julius Beer for his daughter Ada, who tragically passed away at just 8 years old. He spent the equivalent of over £3 million in today's money to build it. Entry inside isn't allowed, but the interior is said to feature incredibly beautiful and intricate carvings. If you're curious to see what it looks like inside, I have added a link in the description for you to take a closer look. It is a beautiful 360-degree view. At one point, both the east and west sides of Highgate Cemetery had fallen into a state of neglect. Thankfully, in 1980, the Friends of Highgate Cemetery Trust stepped in to rescue and restore it, and they continue to take care for and preserve this historic site to this day. Here's a view of the Circle of Lebanon from the higher ground. In the background, the Beer Mausoleum rises prominently, overlooking this historic cemetery. Look at the incredible detail on this tomb. Every carving and design is so intricate. We didn't explore the terrace catacombs. Since I'm not really interested in spaces that are fully enclosed, we decided to skip that part. If you take the guided tour, visiting the catacombs is included, giving you a closer look at the hidden and more enclosed parts of the West Cemetery. Just like the east side, the west cemetery has also been beautifully reclaimed by nature. But here it feels wilder and more untamed. Over the years, ivy has crept over tombs, trees have grown through pathways, and moss covers many of the stone surfaces. This tomb, topped with a sculpted horse, belongs to the family of John Atkala, who was a horse slaughterer. I think it is certainly an unusual tribute and made me quite uncomfortable when I learned about it. Another notable tomb belongs to Thomas Sayers, a famous bare-knuckle fighter and celebrated sporting hero of his time. His grave is watched over by a life-size sculpture of his beloved dog, Lion. It beautifully captures the bond they shared. Here lies George Michael, resting alongside his mother and sister. We had a bit of trouble finding it as there wasn't any prominent marker to indicate the spot. This is the Rossetti path, which leads to the tomb of the poet Christina Rossetti. Alongside her rest other members of her family, including the critic William Michael Rossetti and Elizabeth Siddal, the wife of Dante Gabriel Rossetti. Interestingly, Dante himself, the poet and Christina's brother, is buried in Kent. Here are some family tombs without cast iron doors, which means the coffins inside are actually visible. We have now completed our walk through the west side of the Highgate Cemetery and are slowly making our way toward the exit. Highgate Cemetery is more than just a resting place. Whether you are drawn by history, architecture, or the quiet beauty of nature reclaiming the past, this cemetery leaves a lasting impression. Thank you for joining me on this walk. If you enjoyed exploring the west side of Highgate with me, please make sure to check out the part 1 of my video where we explored the east side. I will link it below in the comment section. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.